Hi, I'm Samar. I'm an immigration and global mobility partner at Spencer West. I'm going to talk about contractual service suppliers and independent professionals under the EU-UK Trade and Cooperation Agreement, or the Trade Agreement. So the trade agreement applies provisionally at the moment. It's the 24th of March, 2021, when I'm recording this. And so there is some uncertainty about its implementation. But under the provisions of the agreement, contractual service suppliers and independent professionals who are UK nationals can service contracts in the EU and vice versa for up to 12 months. Contractual service suppliers are employees of, say, a UK entity, and they are traveling to the EU to service a client contract there. In the case of contractual service suppliers, that UK entity that's employing them, they can't have an entity in the EU. They can't be established in the EU. And the employee themselves have to have at least 3 years experience in the sector that's the subject of the contract. And they have to have either a degree or a qualification that demonstrates equivalent knowledge. If there are any particular requirements for registration, etc., in order to do the work legally in the other jurisdiction, they'll need that as well. In terms of independent professionals, these are people who are self-employed, and they will need at least 6 years experience to work in the other jurisdiction as an independent professional. And as well as a degree or equivalent qualification and the necessary registrations. Now, for both independent professionals and contractual service suppliers, work permits can be required and visas can be required under the terms of the trade agreement. Generally, economic needs tests, so those are economic criteria that have to be met before someone can access the labor market. So for example, the resident labor market test in the UK that used to exist for skilled workers, that was an economic needs test. Those cannot be applied unless the relevant jurisdiction has made a specific reservation in the trade agreement that they want to reserve the right to apply economics needs tests. Now, another difference between contractual service suppliers and independent professionals is that contractual service suppliers as employees, they can't receive remuneration payment from an entity in the jurisdiction where they're working. So it would be their UK employer that gets paid. Because independent professionals are their own business, they can receive remuneration directly. Now, for both contractual service suppliers and independent professionals, the trade agreement only covers specified sectors, though they are quite numerous and broad, and both cover computer and related services. So I would take that to include tech services. They both cover management consultancies and legal services. So it is quite broad. Now, to understand a bit about how this might work in practice, we can look at the UK immigration rules, which have already implemented provisions for contractual service suppliers and independent professionals. Those fall under Tier 5 temporary workers who come under international agreements, in this case, the trade agreement. So the way sponsorship under Tier 5 works is that the client entity would be the sponsor. They do have to apply for a sponsor license under this tier of sponsorship, but it's a bit more straightforward than sponsorship under other tiers. For both small and large businesses, the sponsor license application fee is only £536. No cause fee applies, so no certificate of sponsorship fee applies when the certificate of sponsorship is assigned. And for EU nationals, there's a reduction in the visa application fee, which is usually £244, but it's reduced by £55, and so it's £189. So it's much cheaper and quite straightforward. Certainly for long-term clients, it might be worth helping them get a sponsor license so that your EU contractors or you as an EU independent professional can continue to service their contracts. So that was a real whirlwind tour of contractual service suppliers and independent professionals under the trade agreement. Please do get in touch if you want advice. This is just meant as a general guide. You can reach me at Samar, SAMAR.Shams, SHAMS, at spencer-west.com if you need advice. Thanks very much.